Marty Miller. Marty was an integral part of the Norfolk State University Athletic Department for over 50 years. Following his standout playing career, where he became the program's first NCAA College Division All-American, Miller was commissioned a second lieutenant in the United States Army and was signed by the Minnesota Twins while on active duty. He returned to Norfolk State in 1972, serving as an assistant coach for 1 year before taking over the baseball program in 1973. Over the next 32 years, he would become the winningest coach in Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association history, as his teams combined for more than 700 wins, 17 conference championships, and 12 NCAA Division II postseason appearances. After retiring from his coaching duties, the 15-time Conference Coach of the Year was named Athletic Director at Norfolk State in 2005. During his 16 years as Athletic Director, he spearheaded several major facility improvements and presided over one of the Mideastern Athletic Conference's most successful athletics programs. Ladies and gentlemen, ABCA Hall of Fame inductee, Marty Miller.
Thank you so much. I want to thank the members of the selection committee for finding my body of work worthy for induction into this outstanding organization. I am deeply honored, and I really feel blessed tonight. I want to thank my colleagues who have also been inducted, because listening to your stories tells me that we have actually gone down the same path to get to where we are tonight. And it's so wonderful to hear some of these stories, because some of my bosses and my present boss can get an opportunity to hear what we baseball coaches have gone through for the success that we have attained. So congratulations, coaches. Norfolk State University has a slogan, a motto. When we're recruiting students, it says, "We see the future in you." About 50 years ago, when I showed up at the doors of Norfolk State with my baseball glove, one bag of clothes, my admit letter, and about $10 in my pocket, I said I was here to go to college. Some way they found a way to enroll me. I was fortunate enough to receive a degree in mathematics, accomplished the goal of becoming an All-American in baseball, and I was commissioned a second lieutenant. A few years later, when Norfolk State needed a baseball coach, they approached me. I had no coaching experience at all, but they said, "You are the one that we want to lead this baseball program." Norfolk State saw the future in me. And the reason that I'm here tonight is that they saw something that I didn't see. Even today, that's our story. And I have to thank them for believing in me and trusting me and endearing the baseball program. As you know, I couldn't have gotten here by myself. And as you've heard, so many coaches needed so much support in order to be here tonight. I, too, have the same story. There are some individuals I like to thank, and I don't have time to thank all of them. I did mention some of them in the program, but there are a few that I just want to highlight. The first one I have to mention is my wife, Liz. She's been with me the entire time, and unfortunately, she couldn't be here tonight. She has been my greatest supporter, the best fan. Even in my career, when I first started, I had this habit of taking the uniform home after the game, Coach, and washing them with our own washer and dryer. I did that for about 4 sets of washers and dryers. She looked at me one day, but she didn't say a word. But I realized it was time to stop because I wasn't making enough money to continue buying washers and dryers. But during that period, she never complained. She's always been there to support me. Because of her support, I'm here tonight. And people have seen me receive awards, but I can tell you that when they saw me, they saw a shadow behind me. Because she's quiet, didn't want any publicity. So that shadow behind me was Liz, and that shadow is the reason that I'm here tonight. Because she has meant so much to me in my success. My son been very helpful because he came to play for me at Norfolk State. I didn't get a chance to see a lot of his games. I missed a lot of his birthdays. But for some reason, he wanted to come to play for his daddy. And I can tell you those 4 years were probably 4 of the happiest years of my life as a coach and as a father. And that meant so much to me because I had the chance to be with him on a daily basis. I have to thank my family because my brothers and sisters, when I was growing up, I was the one that my parents allowed to play the game of baseball. A lot of times I didn't do my chores at home, but my brothers and sisters stood in the trenches for me. That's where I developed love of this game when I was a very young person, and it helped me to propel me to the level where I am today. And I have to thank my brothers and sisters, my parents, for being so supportive. In addition to that, I just have to say that there are so many others who have done so much to help me, and especially my former players. I wouldn't be here without them. They constantly make the remark that they wouldn't be the individuals they are if it wasn't for me. But the truth of the matter is that I wouldn't be the person I am without them. And I really congratulate them for being here, for supporting me, and to making the baseball program at Norfolk State a very competitive. We started getting national rankings. Many of them became All-Americans, and a number of them went on to play professionally. And I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart for what they did for our program. They never complained, even though we didn't have all the equipment we needed. We couldn't always eat the way we wanted. We didn't always have the best fields to play on. But they never complained. The only thing they said to me was, "Coach, we just want to play." And play they did, because we won so many championships because of them. And I thank them. I want to thank a few individuals who took the time to travel to this cold city to be with me tonight. The first being is the current president of my university. The president of my university is here to support me. Dr. Javon Adams Gaston and her husband, Dimitri. This is the beginning of a new semester, and you are here to support me, and I want to thank you for that effort. I have to say this very quickly about Dr. J. That's the name that she has instructed us to call her. She came to us from Ohio State. When she arrived about 2.5 years ago, I had decided to retire because I had worked for all of the other presidents at Norfolk State, which had been 6. And I decided it was time to go home because I had coached over 30-some years and been at Norfolk State over 40 years. So I decided it was time to go home. Well, what she did is, as I was walking out the door, she asked me where was I going. I said, I have my retirement box in my hand. I'm going home. She said, oh no, it's not time yet. She reminds me of when the time I had a pitcher who had pitched 7 strong innings. Our rotation that day was very weak, so I didn't have anybody in the bullpen, coach. So I asked my coach, asked my pitcher that day, I said, can you give me one more? You all know what I mean. I need one more. So she reminds me of me as a coach asking that pitcher to give me one more. She asked me, could you give me one more? So that one more has turned into not just the 8th inning, the 9th inning, and now we're in the 10th inning. And I can say that it's been fun. We have a great relationship, and I'm enjoying it. And I want to thank her for that trust. I want to also thank the current athletic director, even the athletic director here, Melanie Webb. Chicago is her home. So I don't know whether she came to support me or to come back home for a little while. But she's here. But she's been very supportive during her tenure at Norfolk State in supporting the things that I have accomplished. And I want to thank her for being here with me. I want to thank the former commissioner of the MAC who just recently retired just a few days ago. He was supposed to be en route to his new home in Tampa, Florida. But I looked up today as I was standing in the lobby, here he walks through the door. And that's Dr. Dennis Thomas, who has been a great friend and a great supporter. And he is responsible for a number of the accolades that I have received. So I want to thank you, Dr. Thomas, for taking time from your vacation already to be here. Then I have my spiritual leader here. So you see, I have a lot of support. Talking about baseball coaches, we have to have a lot of support. So I have my spiritual leader here, the Reverend Dr. Jeffrey Gunn and his beautiful wife, Rosetta, here. I think they've just been on vacation. They have cut their vacation short to be here with me. And I want to thank you all for coming here to be with me tonight. And I thank you for always being there to support me when I need the things, some uplifting because of some reason. Reverend Gunn and I go back to Norfolk State days when we were in ROTC. I used to be the commander of the ROTC cadet. He was just a cadet. And I think he's been trying to pay me back for during those days. But thank y'all for being here. And then I want to say I want to thank a couple of my players who was able to make it. The young man that you see taking pictures, who played for me, has become one of the top legislators in the state of Virginia. He has been very supportive of our program and very supportive of me. He is the reason that I received so many accolades at the state capitol for the accomplishments that I've achieved at Norfolk State. I want to thank him, Delegate Cliff Hayes, for being here and supporting me. And finally, I have Sir Eric Crozier, who really has been like my son. And he's been a part of the show here at the convention. He's become a very close person with me because he's the One of my players, he was the second player to make it to the majors who played for me. And I just want to thank him for his support. So you can see I've had a lot of support to help fulfill the dreams that Norfolk State had for me over 50 years that has brought me to this place tonight. And I want to thank all the other supporters that I have here, and I don't have time to call your name, but thank you. Because without you, I wouldn't be the person I am. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of you coming out to support all of us, because the road that we had to walk to get here was not easy. But your presence tonight brings peace to us, and I want to thank you.
Marty Paulson. Marty Paulson completed his 53rd season as head coach at Fond du Lac High School in 2021. Since 1969, his Cardinals have won over 600 games, and he ranks second in wins all time in the state of Wisconsin. He remains one of only a handful of coaches in the state to have eclipsed both the 500 and 600 win marks. Under Paulson, the Cardinals have made 7 state tournament appearances across 6 different decades, and in 2000, he led the program to a state title.